And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the brand new format of Wisdom Transmissions Gathering every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. I invite all of you who want to ask me questions or if you have distance healing requests to join me on Zoom. Okay, so if you're on YouTube already and if you're looking at the top chat, you'll see a pinned comment there, and that is the link. Just click on that link. It's free, of course. It's a free Zoom registration. You just click on that link. You'll be entered into the room. Okay. Once you're entered into the room, please just keep yourself on mute. Okay. Once we get into the Q&A, you guys will have an opportunity to ask any questions that you like. Then once we get into Q&A, you'll be able to unmute yourself and add yourself onto video as well too if you want, or if you just want to stick with audio, that's fine. Or if you want to do a text chat, that is fine as well too. Okay. So again, I'm basically running two microphones right now. So I'm running a microphone here on Zoom, and I'm running a microphone here on YouTube. So hopefully they don't clash. It should be okay. But anyways, I would suggest even with you guys on Zoom, just to stay in touch with the YouTube broadcast, just so you know where we are all together. And we'll be taking some questions here in just a little bit. Adronis is going to be coming through here in just a few moments. He's going to be sharing his own transmission, and then we'll be getting into Q&A and distance healing. So again, if you do have any questions, if you do have any distance healing requests, please make sure you are on Zoom, okay? So I'm going to be taking questions and distance healing requests only on the Zoom transmission. All right, so let me just make sure everybody else is coming in. And I'll just remind everybody to please make sure your microphones are muted as you come in. So we've got more people coming in. This will just take me a minute to bring in more people. I'm glad to see more people are coming in. This is great. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because this is just allowing a community to be built so that we can actually hear each other, we can see each other, right? And this is why, again, why I call it the Wisdom Transmissions Gathering, right? Because we're gathering together, we're hearing each other, we may be seeing each other, all right? So what we're going to do first and foremost, excuse me, is we're going to start off with some announcements, and then we'll be getting into the Adronis transmission, and then afterwards moving on into Q&A and distance healing requests. So there's basically no order for distance healing or Q&A. Whatever comes up first, we will go ahead and apply that with. Okay, so I'll just go ahead now and start us off with some announcements.
Source Energy enhanced products to repair and rejuvenate the body. From the power of light to crystals to bed kits, card decks, and more. View our free samples, tutorials, and testimonials on our website, etherx.co.
And of course, we do have the, excuse me, we do have the 22% discount store-wide off all products on Etherix. It ends today, okay? So this is our last day for the 22% store-wide products. There will be another discount that will be available tomorrow, but it will be a little bit less, okay? So again, if you want to take advantage of the 22% discount store-wide, again, available up until just before midnight tonight, Pacific time, you can go ahead and take advantage of it. Again, there's no discount code. I still get some people who are confused like that. Hey, Brad, I hear you got a discount thing going on. Where's the discount code? There is none, okay? So all the products basically have the 22% discount off applied to their price already, okay? And that's every single product that's on Etherix. So again, no discount code is required, and this is good until just before midnight tonight. So you can check it out, etherix.co. You can also check out our YouTube channel with Etherix. It's youtube.com/@etherixstore. I also have an update in regards to the brand new Radiate app that is coming soon. Okay, I was able to talk to my app development team. I do have an app development team assigned to creating the Radiate app. Now, if you guys do not know what the Radiate app is, what it is that it is very much taking healing technology, basically the Etherix technology, the transcendental codes, working with the source center vibration, basically working with scalar, and being able to apply scalar onto your digital device, or your mobile device, I could say, whether it's a phone or whether it's a tablet, whether it's an Android or whether it's an iPhone, okay? So if you have any phone or tablet, you'll be able to download the app once it's ready. Now, it's basically going to take about 6 to 8 weeks to complete the app, the Radiate app, And once this is done, you basically will have access to two versions of it. The first version will be a free version, which means that when you just download the app, you can use it right away. Okay, you don't need to log in or anything. You'll see a main screen. You can click on the free version, and the free version will basically contain a visualizer and an audio clip. Okay, so basically you have the option to turn the audio on or off, but the audio is also imbued with scalar, source center vibration, Schumann resonance, the Fibonacci sequence overlay as well too. The visualizer in the free version contains the source center vibration, the Schumann resonance, the crop circle vibration, or the white light vibration as well too, and it also contains a light version of the Fibonacci sequence overlay. So just with the free version, you're going to get a very powerful charge coming out of your phone to where your body is going to be receiving that energy, so that the body is receiving all of the energy it needs to self-heal. So that's the free version. The second version is the full version. Now this one is the paid version. The good news is you only need to pay for it one time. Okay, so it's a one-time payment of $33 USD when it comes out. Then once you have that, you basically will have a login assigned, right? So you can either log in through your Google or through your Facebook, or you can basically just create a login altogether through the app. Once you purchase that, you'll basically just use your login and you'll be able to use the full version. Now the full version contains the source center vibration, or again the scalar. Okay, it contains a Schumann resonance, contains the Kundalini healing power, and by Kundalini healing power, what I'm talking about is the intelligence of yourself, the intelligence of your being. I'm not talking about you getting a Kundalini awakening, but I'm saying that it's working together with your Kundalini healing power together with mine to basically govern the energy in your body to assist in healing. Okay, so the Kundalini healing power, it also contains the crop circle energy as well too. It also contains the Schumann resonance, and it also contains a 15 color vibrational array that basically is radiating, and that's exactly what we call it, radiate. It's radiating all of those energy bands into yourself simultaneously. So it is about 100 times more powerful than the free version. And you are going to be getting an incredible charge. I'm putting more coding into the Radiate app than any other product before. More than the Taurus Bed kit, more than the source flashlights, more than the healing code cards as well too. So this is going to be a product of products, right? It is going to be the capstone for etherics. The good news too is that the app is going to be multilingual. Okay, so you'll be able to select your own language, and all of the instructions and information contained in the app will be available in your own language as well too. So it's going to be a multilingual app. And once you purchase the full version, right? There's dyslexia coming up. Once you purchase the full version, you have it for life. Okay, and let's say, for example, Brad, I have 2 phones and I have a tablet. Can I put the Radiate app on all 3? The answer is yes. You would be able to use the Radiate app onto all 3, both the free version and the full version, right? So if you've purchased the full version, you log on through the app to all 3 devices, and you'll be able to use all 3 devices using Radiate, okay? Brad, is there a difference in regards to using multiple devices? Yes, it's stronger, right? If you're using multiple devices, you're going to have an incredible boost with the full version, as well as the free version. The free version, again, is very bare bones. It's just giving you a taste of what it's like. And then if you really love that, then you grab the full version. Like I said, it's a one-time payment of $33. After that, you have it for the rest of your life, okay? I think that's a pretty good bargain, especially with what this is doing. So it's working together with biomagnetics. It's working together with scalar. It's working together with color healing. It's working together with source center vibration. It's working together with the Schumann resonance. I'm also going to be putting the solfeggio tones directly into the full version's audio clip, okay? So it's working together with sound resonance to charge up your body. It's not healing your body. What it's doing is it's charging up every single cell in your body so that your cell gets supercharged so that your body can self-heal, okay? Very similar to like what EE Systems has done with their technology. Of course, they have very powerful industrial strength computer systems to generate a Taurus field. What is happening is when you're playing with Radiate, when you basically go on the free version or the full version, a Taurus field is generated, okay? And basically that Taurus field becomes expansive because we're using the Fibonacci sequence to expand it even further, Okay, so this is going to be something that is by far going to be the most powerful, the most potent, and the most densely coded product Etherics has ever created. Okay, so this is why I'm really, really excited for Radiate. Okay, and I'm going to be doing a lot of promotion on that, getting it out there, because I want to see hundreds of thousands of people downloading this app and helping to get the energy their body needs to heal themselves. So I'm going to be talking to a lot of people. I'm going to be doing a lot of promotion, getting Radiate out there, because this is the granddaddy project. So I'm looking forward to that. So more information will be coming forward in the next few weeks about updates regarding the Radiate app. It's going to be very, very exciting. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and move on here. I believe that's all the announcements. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, again, one other announcement is that newearthteachings.com over the next couple of days is going to be switching over to wisdomtransmissions.com. Okay, so newearthteachings.com is still available for a couple more days. After that, it's going to be going right into wisdomtransmissions.com. That is currently available right now. So you can go to wisdomtransmissions.com and check that out. That is the brand new website that is going to take New Earth Teachings' place. All right, so let's go ahead now and get started with today's broadcast. So again, hello everybody on Zoom. Let me just go ahead and admit more people coming in here. So I'm just going to make sure everybody is muted. So I just ask everybody on Zoom right now just to make sure that you're just staying muted. We're going to, once we get into Q&A, we'll be able to unmute everybody and then they can come in. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead now and bring Adronis in. Adronis is going to share some information, some insights today through the transmission. Once that's done, then we'll start Q&A, and then we'll start distance healing. Like I said, there's no particular order. It's kind of first come, first served. All right. Okay, so I will go ahead and bring Adronis in now, and we will get started. Here we go. First episode of Wisdom Transmissions on Wednesdays. It's going to be awesome. All right. So we're doing this every single week. Looking forward to it. This is my superpower smoothie, in case anybody's wondering. All right. Here we go. Soul Star. Sirius. Adronis. We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. What we'd like all of you to do at this time is simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius, so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Also understand that all of the information that we shall provide today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. We will discuss the idea of what is termed as new technology ahead. Is that your planet is going to be going through a new transformation, where a lot of these old technologies that have been detrimental to the earth, detrimental to nature, detrimental to yourselves, are now going to be scrutinized a great deal further and in time replaced. And you are noticing that these particular technologies, such as your coal plants, such as your nuclear power stations and so forth, all of these particular forms of dirty, detrimental, dangerous forms of technology are going to be heavily scrutinized this decade, to where there will be the opportunity of new technologies to take its place. So quite commonly throughout your own transportation industry, representing your cars, your trucks, your vans, etc., that these are mainly going to be replaced in time by a hydrogen equivalent, quite commonly. They are going to start working a lot more with hydrogen cars. There may also be other particular forms of improved electrical components that will enable certain vehicles in this way to operate. It will not be dirty. It will not be detrimental. It will not be harmful. And that is currently in the works. New healing technologies will be coming forward. Now, again, many of you have been excited to what you term as your medical beds, your med beds in that particular way. Well, as we will divulge here, there will be certain technologies to that degree, but not to the, shall we say, luxurious extent of what you would consider a full med bed to be capable of. They will firstly start off with utilizing certain forms of artificial intelligence, basically having surgical beds operated through artificial intelligence. Now that may not seem too appealing for many of you, but as this starts to roll itself out, you're going to basically have what you would know as AI doctors. You're going to basically have what you would know as AI surgeons. And so again, that is what's starting the genesis, the prototypes in regards to these types of beds. Now, of course, the beds that we talk about are nothing like those, but that is how it's going to generate itself much more in the mainstream. The beds we are talking about involve the working of a torus field, very similar to what etherics is doing, very similar to what the EE systems is doing, is actually working together with the torus field. You're working together with etheric technology. That is going to be rolling out much more, not only through what Brad is doing, not only through what those who are working together with the EE systems, the energy enhancement systems, are doing, but you're going to notice that there's going to be more companies that are going to invest into such things. It is going to start off grassroots, and it may actually start to move into the mainstream as you move into the next decade. Right now, throughout your 2020s, it may stay within the alternative flow. It may stay within the grassroots. That basically you have to dig forward a little bit. You have to be aware of these particular organizations that are offering this, but it will be offered plentifully. And that's the good news. Not only through what Brad is doing, but also through what others are doing who are now starting to develop this scalar Taurus field technology, this etheric technology, and being able to assist others on a much more grander level. But on the mainstream, that's really what you're going to be seeing. AI surgical beds involving certain forms of artificial intelligence. And even though some are not crazy about the AI idea, there are those who are. And that is basically how it will begin. It will start off with these particular surgical beds, and it will transform into something far greater. Now, again, as many of you are very, very curious about med beds, it's not really going to lead into a bed right away. Again, a lot of this has to do with more so rooms. Going into rooms and getting charged. Going into rooms and assisting yourself with healing. That's really what this is entailing altogether. So there are certain pods, there are certain beds in that way, but we would feel that this is not really an efficient design to assist those, many of you, who do require healing. The idea here would basically to have an open space to where the energy that can be delivered to you so that healing can commence can be brought forward on a much more larger scale. So that again is what the EE systems is doing. That again is what Brad is doing through etherics, to basically utilizing your own mobile device, to basically utilizing mobile instruments as your own particular medium to deliver energy to you so that your body can self-heal. This is moving in a very, very powerful and positive direction. This is exactly what we would love to see in further development across your planet. Having centers to which you can go to and therefore receiving the rejuvenation that your body requires to heal. Having devices on your person so that if you're not able to reach a center, you have it on a device to assist your body into healing. This is very, very close to mimicking much of the technology that you will find on board spacecrafts. Spacecrafts themselves will also have chambers. They also have certain types of pods as well too. They basically have certain pods that would be, as you would term, to function in suspended animation. Basically placing an entity within a pod and then filling it with a particular type of fluid. And through that fluid, all kinds of changes can take place. Transformations in DNA. There can also be alterations in DNA as well too. A male can basically transform themselves into a female. A female can simply transform themselves into a male. You can make yourself taller. You can make yourself smaller. If you basically have the loss of an arm itself can be regenerated through the holographic matrix of yourself. These would basically be what we would refer to as the suspended animation chambers. But there are also other particular forms of healing that does take place on board craft, where you go into chambers and you are basically sitting in the center of a Taurus field. And you are getting, as you would say, supercharged just by being in that presence. This is something that is on board ships. And now you're introducing it onto your planet. So we would say that this is very, very positive, very, very powerful, and this is moving in a step to the right direction. This is where you need to be. This is what you need to do. This is what you want to continue to support. When you are noticing that there are those in that sense that are working with the Taurus field, that is working with scalar to help yourselves, that is what you want to continue to back. That is what you want to continue to support. Because you are going to notice this ushering in of new technologies that is going to be taking the world by storm. Now, when you look at the idea of Taurus fields, when you look at the nature of the etheric technology itself, this is very alien to many people because even your modern day scientists aren't even aware of a Taurus field. They're very unaware of what a Taurus field actually does. They may be familiar with the geometry, but they don't even know what magnetism is. They don't even know what the Taurus field actually does. And this is what requires re-education. So basically, we would also suggest that there are centers that are coming together that can educate people about scalar, that can educate people about the Taurus field, that can educate people about the source center vibration, and that you're getting this education much more available to you without having to spend a great deal of money. So that is something that we would suggest to your population, is that you're going a lot deeper into the science of the Taurus field. You're going much more into the science of the hyperboloid. You're going much more into the science of scalar. You're going much more into the science of the etheric technology. Because that's what you're working with. You're working with an etheric perturbation. You're working with a field. And it's very important to be aware of how these things work so that you're not feeling so alien to this technology. What is this? Is this some type of weird, spooky science? How is it that a person can just sit in the middle of a room with all of these TV sets going up and down, and all of a sudden they leave the room a couple of hours later and they're feeling rejuvenated? How does that happen? Is there some sort of spookiness and weirdness going on here? You are completely unfamiliar with how a Taurus field works. And that's the issue. This again is how scalar itself is. Scalar simply represents that of omnipresence. It cannot be detected. It does not have something that is available to you in the idea of a physical plane. It does not have a Cartesian value. It does not have an XYZ axis that you can point to. It is omnipresence. It is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. That is scalar. So when you start to educate yourselves a lot more, understanding the nature about how scalar works, it's not going to seem so weird. It's not going to seem so creepy. It's not going to seem like you are, again, afraid to go into that room, not too sure what to expect. So as you start educating yourself a lot more about scalar, about a Taurus field, about the idea of biomagnetics, about the nature in that sense, about how the torus field, how the hyperboloid work, then you're going to be a lot more familiar with this technology, and this can extend an olive branch to more technologies like this to come about. Because what you're doing right now is you're altering timelines. The idea of being able to bring these particular technologies out in the open to thousands of centers, the ability to utilize this particular technology on your mobile device and actually generate a torus field through it is astounding. That's switching timelines here. And that's shifting you into something that can be much more prominent as the world starts to realize what this technology does. Not just with what Brad's doing, not just with what Sandra, Rose, Michael is doing with EE systems, or what others are doing currently with, shall we say, certain degrees of scalar devices or scalar technology, but what you can do as well to add to the mix, to bring about the pure etheric technology, because that is what rejuvenates your body unlike anything else. And we suggest you investigate it a great deal further. This is the technological boom, the new technological boom that is coming across your planet. And between now and the next 20 years, you are going to see significant changes through technology on your planet that is going to replace, shall we say, the old primitive versions that were harmful, that were detrimental, that were dangerous, and moving into something that is complementary to Earth, complementary to nature, and complementary to yourselves. We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction. We will now begin your question and answer period. Thank you very much. One moment, please. All right, well, that's exciting news. I'm glad to hear it. And it feels like there is going to be a big technological boom, and I have all the respect for Sandra, Rose, Michael, and even the people at Unified Healing. If you guys have tuned into them, they are the ones who really help to bring this forward. They're the ones that are really helping to bring things like EE systems towards healing centers, okay? Etherics has the same goal. Like after we launched the Radiate app, which is spelled R-A-Y-D-8, okay? After we launch the app, then I'm going to be working on developing a commercial version for Radiate itself so that people will be able to purchase a commercial license with Etherics, right? So what that does is not only does that give you permission to use the commercial app in your own healing center or wellness center, but you'll also be able to use Etherics technology. So you'll be able to sell Etherics technology through your own healing center and wellness center. And you'll get a 60% wholesale discount from that as well too. So that's kind of phase 2. Phase 1 is just developing the app for the free version and the full version. Then we're going to move on to phase 2, which is the commercial app, which will be available for healing centers all over the world, right? And like I said, everything will be multilingual, right? So everything will be in your language. We'll have translations for every language on Earth so that this can go anywhere, right? It's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the next few months. It's going to be a really, really big rollout that's going to be coming, okay? Guys, if you have questions on the chat, please jump on the Zoom, okay? I'm not taking questions on the YouTube chat, okay? You have to go onto Zoom for that. So just letting you know that, okay? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and switch gears. We're going to go ahead and move on into the audience here on Zoom. So if you guys do have any questions, you can feel free to unmute yourself and come on video if you want. Do any of you have any questions for me today who are on the Zoom chat? Go ahead. Okay, you just have to unmute your microphones, guys. If whoever has a question for me can just go ahead and share on Zoom.
Hi, Brad. Anna here.
Go
Can
ahead,
you hear
guys.
me?
Don't be shy. Okay, Anna. Oh, let me just get my headphones on, guys. That's probably why I'm not able to hear you. 1 second. Just gonna get my headset on.
Hi, Brad. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Anna.
Great.
I had to remember
I have a
I had to
question.
put my headphones on.
Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a question regarding energy healing.
Yes.
I practice it, and I know you practice some type of energy healing. So what I have come across now, somebody has told me it's necessary to do an energy exchange. So basically sending the negative energy that has come up with that person or with myself off into the universe. Um, do you practice that when doing your healing? Because apparently, if I don't do that, the energy, the negative energy stays with me and it doesn't dissipate or disappear.
So energy exchange. So basically exchanging the nature of energy. Well, there's an often a rule to that, but that rule is not really written in stone. It's something that would represent much more of a courtesy. Now, basically, if you're doing energy exchange, the whole idea, number one, is you should not be using your own energy at all. Okay? So that's a very, very important part. This is why I don't really refer to it as healing work anymore. I basically refer
Mm-hmm.
to it as energy work, right? Because what you're doing is that you are moving yourself into a certain alignment. And through that certain alignment that's coming together, you are basically radiating that particular source energy through yourself and transmitting it. So it's a transmission towards another person, or maybe towards a group, or even particular through an animal or a plant. So what's happening is that pure source energy, again, when you go into that particular state, that's a Taurus field, right? So what you're doing is you're bringing that pure source energy while you have worked to neutralize yourself. You're basically in your center, right? You have moved yourself into a neutral state, and you're just letting this energy flow through you. And it's kind of like you're just holding space. You're just being present. Now, you can do this through Reiki healing. You can do this through all different types. You can do this through hands-on healing. But the most important thing that I've told healers for years is please don't use your own vital energy, because that is what's going to be detrimental. It's going to be detrimental to yourself. It's going to be detrimental to the other. And this is not something new. Again, I've been talking to people for well over 15 years about this. And there's still some people that will feel exhausted after a healing session. They'll feel, oh my God, I just feel drained. I feel exhausted. You shouldn't be feeling drained, and you shouldn't be feeling exhausted. With all due respect, if you're feeling drained and exhausted, you're doing it wrong. So really what it entails is being able to get yourself into the center. This is what I refer to as getting into a subtle state of being. This is what I refer to as getting yourself into a dilated state. So as you get yourself into the dilated state, you want to take a few minutes to prepare. So if there's a client that you're coming to see and they're sitting down with you, then you're basically just taking these few minutes just to get yourself into that center. So we're doing breath work, we're aligning ourselves, we're making the exhales longer than the inhales, we're stimulating the parasympathetic, and we're basically just feeling very, very calm and centered and relaxed. And now we're just letting spirit work through us, and you can feel the energy flowing through you. It's a beautiful thing. So this is what I do all the time when I'm doing healing work on guys, on everybody, right? So whether it's a person, whether it's an animal, whether it's a group, just being able to let spirit go through and do the work. And I will basically state commands, right? So I will just work together with spirit, and whatever is ailing the other person, I will command that energy to work together with their throat or their chest or their back or their knees or whatever it may be. But I'm just letting that energy just flow through me. And it's a beautiful thing. I never ever get drained with the energy work that I'm doing. So as it pertains to a state of energy exchange, what really matters is your actions that follow, right? So if you're noticing, for example, that you're getting a wonderful energy work session done by somebody, and you're feeling that your body is getting rejuvenated, you can feel your cells just starting to increase, it feels like your whole body is vibrating, then I would say do something beautiful with that, right? So maybe bless somebody while you're in that state of charge, because this is what happens. If you guys are with a really good healer, or I would say a very good energy worker, and they're doing this work on you and your whole body is uplifting, you're basically upsurging yourself to the point where your manifestations will come like that, right? So what I would say is work with manifestations that are complementary to you and to others. Perform actions that are complementary to you and to others, because that's the energetic exchange. Now you're getting powered up. Now you're getting supercharged. Now that you're getting supercharged, your manifestations are going to come really, really quick. Whatever you ask for is going to come together. This is what you're going to get through Radiate. This is already what you're getting through EE systems, right? When you go there, you just feel this manifestation power within yourself, just charging up like crazy. Even with a lot of the current etherics technology, you're getting charged up. So basically with that charge and the actions that you convey, that is the goodness that you can bring about afterwards. That's the exchange. Does that make sense?
All right. Yes, thank you very much. So just one last question.
Yep.
Do you actually think that it's necessary to protect oneself with either a white bubble or whatever when doing that work?
Well, the whole idea is I really wouldn't use the term protection, because what protection basically does is saying I'm insecure, and if this isn't with me, oh my God, then horrible things are going to happen, right? Protection is not really something that represents a benevolence to yourself. It does not represent unity consciousness. When you're protected, it means you're fragile. It means you're vulnerable. It means you feel like you're going to be in danger. Okay. Now, there is some things that you can put upon yourself. There's certain things that you can apply. But I'm not really seeing it too much as a security blanket, as I am much more seeing it as a spirit blanket, right? So if I'm going out and if I know I'm quite sensitive, when I go outside and I'm around other people, I'll start generating a bubble. And all that bubble is doing is it's functioning as a dampening field. It's just helping to dampen out a lot of surrounding energies that may be unpleasant. But again, I'm just doing that because I'm helping myself to stay focused, right? So I really wouldn't call it protection, as it is much more in the idea of assistance, right? You're receiving assistance, you're helping yourself. You're basically bringing greater potency of your own being forward, right? So I would say there's really never a need for protection. I've had these conversations with people before as well too, where they feel that they need protection, they feel that they need help, and feeling, well, Brad, I'm concerned about these entity attachments or anything of that nature coming into my field. Well, I'd say the only reason why they're there is because there's an imprint within yourself that you keep holding on to. Your fear is what's keeping you there. So basically what I would suggest is that you're working to clear away that fear. So whether that fear may be something about a loved one, whether that fear may be in that sense the state of the world, or whatever it may be, you're learning to untie that knot. You're loosening everything up. You're lightening up. You're learning to soften, right? As you soften, those knots start getting untied, and you're now looking at yourself from up here. It's like I've talked about before. You're getting out of the band that is telling you to be afraid, and you're moving up, and you're at summit level, right? And you're clearing all of that out, so that whenever challenges come in, and it's okay if challenges come in, it's okay to trip over your own feet and fall, but you know how to pick yourself back up again. So you're standing at the top of the summit, and you're letting that light of spirit coming in, and you're just commanding everything. It's like you're walking a particular path, you're walking a particular stream, and all you're doing is you're commanding everything. That's what it is to be at the summit. That is what it feels like when you're supercharged, right? Whether you're doing it through healing, whether you're doing it through technology, whether you're doing it through yourself, right? You are going to be at the top of the mountain. And there's really no need for protection, because protection is only there to protect fragility. It's only there to protect vulnerability. It's something that is just short-sightedness in that way. So rather than feeling protected, feel unified, right? Go into a unified state, move into that, and work on yourself day by day so that it feels a lot more in harmony with yourself, to feel like I can just go out into the world, and wherever there's challenges, I know how to take care of that. I know how to soften. And a lot of it involves breath work, and it's as simple as just Om chanting into your problem and watching it shrink down and getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it no longer has any grasp on you. And you're just basically, okay, I can let this go, and it's gone, right? So do not concern about protection. Rather, work to unify yourself. That's the key. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. All right,
Thanks.
let's go ahead and take another question. Any other questions on Zoom? So guys, you just have to unmute yourself and go ahead.
I have a question.
Hi, Benedict, go ahead.
I'm not sure if it's too personal, but I was just wondering if you updated the Taurus Bed kits, because I'm using it for a little bit more than a month. And last night it was really, really intense to use it. And maybe you put the Fibonacci sequence in or something?
No, I haven't updated the Taurus Bed at all. We basically had a very colossal shift last night. So what you were feeling is basically a shift of the earth. And because the Taurus Bed basically works together with the Taurus, whenever there's those powerful shifts of energy, it absorbs it right away, right? That is powerful absorption. I was feeling it last night as well too. The Taurus Bed was very, very powerful. I have wall arrays in my room as well too. and everything was just feeling very, very powerful. So basically that can happen. These are, again, immediate shifts. I have not updated the Taurus Bed yet, but I will be updating it this week. Now, again, as I've told everybody, if you guys are noticing that the intensity of the Taurus Bed is too much, that's why you have reverse amplification options, right? So you basically put your hand on the Taurus symbol or even on the bed anywhere, and you're just saying decrease amplification by minus 50%, and it will decrease. Okay, so basically you have a scale from minus 99% of reverse amplification to positive 100% of positive amplification. So remember to use your amplification. If it still gets too intense, just take the blanket off, right? And just sleep in a common bed if that's too much. But basically this is what happens, is that when there's large shifts on Earth, the Taurus field, again, is the generator of that. And so it's going to be receiving that particular type of surge. So no, I have not updated it yet, but I do plan to later this week.
Okay, so if we want to decrease the amplification, we should always say minus 50%.
Do you have the instruction book to the Taurus Bed kit?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so it tells you exactly what to do there, right? So basically I would just say, because I'm decreasing it, I would just say decrease amplification to minus 50% or minus 75% or anything of that nature. Because basically what you're doing is you're going down on scale, right? When you basically just activate the Taurus Bed, it's right at the 0. Okay. Now I can increase it to 100%. I could say positive 100, or I can just say 100%, and that's fine. And then if I want to, if I feel like it's still quite strong, then I'll just say, okay, decrease by negative 50% or negative 75%. Okay. But if you're basically getting a little bit afraid in regards to the energy that's coming in, all this is doing for you, Benedict, is charging your cells. Your cells are getting charged. You can never really have too much of this energy. But what's basically causing problems is you have a fear about something, okay? And you want to come to terms with that fear. If you feel like this is going to take you out of body and feeling like you're never going to find your way back home, if you feel like there's some sort of presence about this in that sense, then these are fears, because all we're doing with etherics is we're just working with a Taurus field. This has nothing to do with entities. This has nothing to do with any particular types of angels or extraterrestrials. None of that is coming through the technology. This technology is very, very practical. But like I said, I've built the engine in these invisible dimensions, and it's anchoring into these physical items, like a Taurus Bed, like the healing code cards, like the source flashlight, and then in time with radiate. So that's all you're experiencing, is just a Taurus field. There's nothing to do with entities or anything of that nature at all with etherics.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, let's go to another question. Any other questioners that want to come up?
Hi.
Hi, is this Jenny?
Hello.
Or Bob? Oh, Jenny? Oh, Jenny. Yeah, Jenny, go ahead.
Hi, I'm relatively new to discovering you. I've only seen you since yesterday.
Oh, welcome.
Can I, thank you. So can I ask, I'm not very well. I keep getting repetitive viruses, and they don't, like I've had a tooth infection that seemed to went on, and I've had to have a back tooth out.
Right.
And then it hasn't healed. I don't like taking drugs, but I've had to have 3 courses of antibiotics, which I don't normally do. And then I've now got like some sort of virus, which I understand it's the body releasing toxins. Is a lot of that to do with fear?
Well, a lot of it is basically low charge in your body. Your immune system is low, right? So
Yeah.
basically what you want to do is you want to boost up your immune system. So like I said, here's how viruses, bacteria, toxins work. If our immune system, if our cells in our body are basically at a certain volt range, for example, 15 to 20 millivolts, then basically viruses can operate on that bandwidth as well too. This is kind of like what I've talked about, because I know you're new, but basically I've talked about the idea of being in the same bandwidth with your viruses, with your toxins, with your fear. It's very, very low voltage. So what we really need to do is we need to hike up the voltage. We need to spike it. So we spike it utilizing something like etherics, right? Utilizing the products that I have available there. So if you have like a Taurus Bed kit, if you have the healing code cards, if you have the source flashlight, if you have any of these other things, there's crystals, there's pyramids as well too. So you're working together with that to keeping your body in a state of high voltage, right? Even just being present with the fields of that is helping to spike up your body.
Okay.
Now, over time, what will happen is the body will now start to get stronger and start to combat these particular types of viruses. So if you've had problems with your teeth, for example, one of the things I can recommend is getting the Source flashlight. That's on etherics, right? What you're doing is just opening your mouth and you're just shining the flashlight on the teeth. And you're doing that maybe 5-10 minutes, for example.
Okay.
And if you're noticing that the pain is going down, great. That's because the cells within the teeth, within the gums, within the mouth are basically exponentially spiking up. So basically the whole key here, and it's the same thing about eating healthy, it's the same thing about doing breath work, right? Doing pranayama, okay? And doing deep cleansing exhales. What that's doing is that's energizing your body. Like the yogis have talked about this for many thousands of years. They say one of the best things you can do for yourself is the pranayama breath control, right? So we're working with inhaling through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhaling through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is what we call rachaka breath.
Yeah.
So rachaka pranayama is basically what they call an extended breath. So you're making your exhales longer than your inhales. And what this eventually is going to do is it's going to bring you into a very, very charged state. And this is what I refer to as going into a subtle state, going into a low idle state, or going into the dilated state. As you continue to do this, you check your eyes. Your eyes are getting dilated. As they get dilated, that's indicating that your body is going through a certain state of vibration. It's letting you know that everything is getting charged, right? So that, again, is something that's helpful. Eating superfoods, right? Taking good foods into yourself, right? Beneficial supplements that are very, very good, that helps to build up your immune system, that works with your kidneys, works with your liver, works with all these different things. We want to just put the goodness into our body that is charging up the cells. That's what's going to, in time, take care of all the viral problems. And you're noticing that over time, you just start feeling better and better every morning.
Yeah, because I've started seeing a very good nutritionalist here in the UK, and he's put me on like humic acid, NAC, electrolytes, things like that. But I do know that I hold my breath, even like when I talk, I hold my breath all the time. It's like a habit.
Well, that
So,
basically causes disruption to the flow of your breath, right? Now, there is a time and a place to hold your breath if you're doing certain work, because that can hold a charge. But if we're basically just going in our natural state and we're holding our breath and stuff like that, then yeah, that's causing disruption. That's almost a prelude to hyperventilation, right? So that is something that causes disruption with your charge.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you,
Great,
Jane. Nice to
thank
meet
you.
you. All right, great. Let's go to George. I believe George is up next. George, you can just unmute yourself.
Hi, Brad.
Hi,
I was
George.
just wondering what the difference is between the healing frequencies or the esophageal frequencies, such as 432 and 639.
432 and 639. Okay, well, those are basically, I believe the solfeggio frequency for the 400 range is 417, right? Now, 432 is the frequency of the sun. That's the sun frequency, right? So when you're basically looking at 432 hertz, whether you hear it through an audio track, lights themselves can also be tuned to a 432 hertz transmission. That is the frequency of the sun. In fact, this is what I've been hearing a lot about 5G towers, is that many of them are now starting to be reprogrammed into basically radiating 432 hertz frequencies, which again is the sun frequency. So that's the difference with 432 hertz. Now, basically, the solfeggio scale is a sacred sequence. It's a sacred sequence of music. It's what, again, a lot of churches would do in the ancient times. Gregorian chants, in that sense, would often work together with the solfeggios because they work together through a sacred sequence. These sacred sequences basically contain a source vibration charge within them. So that's, again, what's going to be going into the music for the full version of Radiate. So basically, if you're working together and you're noticing that as you're playing the solfeggio frequencies quite commonly, this is actually what I did in the first 2 months of my spiritual awakening back in 2008. I would basically be playing the solfeggio frequencies every single day for about an hour, meditating with them. And that really did a great job in exponentially amplifying myself, so to speak. So they're sacred sequences that work together with the harmonic of source consciousness, right? Just like the Fibonacci sequence does, right? So the Fibonacci sequence also works together. All life is done through that pattern, right? Through the 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, etc. And that again is the sacred sequence to which all life is designed. If you look at a sunflower, right? If you look at a seashell, if you look at these sacred spirals in that sense, they all follow the Fibonacci sequence, the phi, the golden mean in that way. So they all represent the complement and harmony and healing arrangement of the sacred sequence of source consciousness.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, thank you very much. And that's what's going to be in Radiate, so it's going to be really
Hello.
exciting. All right, let's go ahead to Bob. Bob, go ahead.
Hi, if
Hi.
you are hear me well,
Yeah.
I want to ask about drain energy or theft of the energy. What will be the cost for theft energy, for drain maybe energy?
The only way you could ever
and
get drained,
what should we do?
yeah, the only way you can ever get drained is in you're in a fear vibration. Okay, a fear vibration leaves you susceptible to energetic drain. It's very much, again, guys, all you have to do is really look at this like voltage, right? If I am in low voltage, think of it as your phone. If your phone's running on low battery and it's now starting to flash red, right? It's basically just struggling to hold on before the frequency cuts out and then the phone dies. Well, basically what you're doing is you're staying at a very, very low voltage frequency. And basically viruses, bacteria, pathogens, and fear vibrations stay together in that particular type of low voltage. So as long as you keep yourself low, as long as you keep yourself kind of at rock bottom, at the base, you are susceptible to everything else that is within that range of voltage, and it's a very low voltage. So the fear of being drained, the fear of having your energy just usurped from you, requires you being in a fear vibration. You can't do it if a person's in a love vibration. That person's in a unified vibration. That person's feeling really highly charged. You can kind of feel the light around them. They're just feeling so confident. They feel charged. They feel wonderful. They have that energetic to them that's so potent. You can't do anything to that person, right? Nothing can be done with that person. So it's all about range here. It's all about voltage. So this is where I talk about pranayama. This is where I talk about getting your superfoods, getting in there, doing your breath work, right? Working with meditation, working with etherics, working with EE systems, getting things that are helping to charge your voltage up. Because when you're up here, well, those energies can't touch you. Like, where'd they go? Where'd they go? It's almost like you just vanish from that particular vibrational range. The voltage now escalates, and now you're moving at the top of the summit. So anything involving energy drainage, energy usurping, energy deterioration, or anything of that nature comes from a much more lower plane. So I would suggest don't be in that lower plane. Move yourself up. Okay? Does that help you, Bob? Okay, I guess so. All right, let's go ahead and move on if there's any other questions that want to come up. And if you just want to be on audio, you can be on audio as well too. Video is an option. Okay, this one here is from Maria Rice. Maria just had a question in the chat here on the Zoom meeting. She says, with AI surgeons, what safeguards do you think will be put in place to ensure that they will not be used in a negative way? I don't know, Maria. I'm not an AI developer. Okay, and with the regenerating technology, would it work on a person who has been missing a limb for many years? With the regeneration technology, this is exactly what Adronis was talking about on board ships. Okay, we really don't have it just yet. We don't have that particular technology. Like even with etherics or EE systems in that sense, that's not really what they're designed for. They're designed to basically give you a charge, right? So basically, when you get charged, you're noticing that your organs are now starting to return back into great vitality. Your cells are now starting to move back into great vitality. Your skin, your bodily systems, everything is being returned back into high vitality. Okay, so what that's doing is that's eliminating bacteria, viruses, pathogens, fungicides, any other particular forms of detrimental contents contained in the bodies, extracting heavy metals out of the body and so forth. Now, if a person in that sense, for example, had an amputated arm, I would not expect them to go into an EE system or to work with the Radiate app to feel like their arm could regenerate, because that is a very much more sophisticated genetic program that you need. And as far as I know, EE Systems doesn't work with genetics, right? And basically I'm developing everything with etherics. Etherics does not work with genetic manipulation, okay? You would need to develop that could work together with genetic manipulation, that could work together with genetic resequencing, that could basically work together with the holograph of the body and start regenerating a limb, okay? So there are technologies like that. I'm pretty sure we may have some shadow projects that may have that capability, but it's not developed yet. That's a little bit out of my league because I'm not a geneticist. Okay, so but basically on board ships, yes, it's kind of like suspended animation chambers, as Adronis was talking about, that you go into a particular chamber, it's filled with a type of fluid, and then you start to actually regenerate everything. If a person has a missing arm, they'll start having an arm regenerated very, very quickly. Again, they could even switch themselves from male to female to male, etc. You can make yourself shorter. You can make yourself taller. If you're 95 years old, you can make yourself into an 18-year-old again, right? This is basically the very advanced genetic manipulation technology that they have on board ships. To my knowledge, I'm not aware of anybody in the public eye who has anything like that, right? And that's not what I'm doing with etherics. Basically, what I'm doing with etherics is helping to charge you guys up so that you're feeling healthy. But I don't have any genetic alteration program that's going to turn your eyes from brown to blue. That's all of a sudden going to give you longer hair again. That's basically going to make you 6 inches taller, and that is going to turn you from male to female. Okay, I don't have anything like that, and I don't know anybody on Earth who has that. Okay, those are, again, are things that are on board ships. Okay, so I hope that helps. All right, let's go to any other questions on the chat here on Zoom. Okay, still got quite a few people here, guys. If you want to ask a question, feel free to just unmute yourself. Just click on the microphone button that's next to your name. That will unmute you and you can ask a question. Okay, while we're waiting, I think we'll go to YouTube. Let's see how everybody's doing here on YouTube. And if you guys don't want to go on Zoom, then I understand, but let's go ahead and take a look here. And Anna, thank you very much for your donation. I appreciate that. This one here is just from Jan on YouTube. Jan says, "Hi Brad, have the flashlights been updated with the new energies as well? Because I have a couple of them when I purchased before you came up with these new energies." Yes, they have been completely updated. So the source flashlight technology has been updated with the Fibonacci sequence. It's also been updated with the color vibration as well too. Okay, so that is updated as well. So the ones that have been updated right now are the flashlights. The other ones that have been updated as well too are the eye masks, as well as the visor sunglasses and the source orgonite necklaces. Okay, those ones have been updated. Taurus Bed Kit will be updated here later this week, and then I'll be going into other products as well too. It'll take a bit of time because I'm just so unbelievably busy right now, but I will get around to getting everyone updated. Okay, thank you for your question. Okay, anybody else on Zoom that wants to ask a question? You guys are so shy, my goodness. Okay, let me just go down to any other questions here on the Zoom chat. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Okay, this one's from Ben Kramer 1. Ben Kramer on YouTube asks, "Can we use this technology to support our sleep? Also, can this be used for abundance and prosperity?" I'm wondering if you're maybe talking about Etherics Radiate. Okay. With Etherics Radiate, because I'm developing this, so I know it inside and out, so I can't speak for EE systems. But yes, for Radiate, you can do that while you sleep. So basically what you would do is you would just have your phone next to you in bed on a nightstand, for example. And what we have is we're going to have a screen lock feature. Okay, so a screen lock feature will mean that you'll be able to just play the visual with this while your phone screen is locked or your tablet screen is locked. And you just keep it on, and it just keeps running and running and running and running. Right, so there will be a screen lock option that will help you with that. And if you're leaving that on all night, poof, you are going to get supercharged when you go to bed. Okay, so can this be used for abundance, prosperity? Yes, it can. Like I said, guys, your cells are getting charged, right? So your brain is getting charged, your major organs are getting charged, your bodily systems are getting charged, your skin is getting charged. Everything about you, even on an emotional level, a mental level, an akashic level, karmic level, is getting charged, okay? Because this is what I'm doing. It's not just focusing on the physical body. It's working on your mental body. It's working on your emotional body. It's working on your astral body. It's working on your causal body. It's working on your manifestation body. It's working on your akashic levels, okay? So what happens is all of that gets supercharged. So what you'll notice is as you spend some time with the Radiate app, whether it's the free version, and especially if it's the full version, because it's much more potent, then you're going to notice that your manifestation is going to come really, really quickly. How do manifestations come very quickly? It's through the amount of charge that you have within yourself. Person who's very, very low charged, who grumbles a lot, who wishes some things would happen, basically isn't really going to see that through the light of day because they're so low in voltage. But if you're now using this and it's supplying you with all of that energy that your body needs to self-heal, you're going exponentially high and you are manifesting everything before your eyes. Right? Actually, my fiance did something very neat after she went to an EE system session. She went outside and then she started just manifesting cars, different types of cars that she would see when she was going into a parking lot. And I think she was trying to manifest a hot pink Barbie car, and it appeared. Right? It was really, really amazing. And she was so charged up, she could feel her manifestations coming to life. And that was after about a 2-hour EE system session. Okay? So etherics has also done similar things. Like our house right now is so charged up, we bring a manifestation, it comes in so quickly. Right? So again, the same thing happens with radiate, because radiate, like I said, is going to be the capstone of etherics. It is going to be the most powerful product. So that is also something that is going to help you. You have that high voltage within yourself. You're going to get charged up. Your manifestations are going to come really, really quickly. Now, those manifestations can be both positive or negative, just based upon that. So you want to be very careful about procrastinating. You really want to be very, very careful about where you're directing your energies and where you're putting yourself in that way. Okay? Because again, that is what's going to cause some issues. You want to be very aware of your thoughts, and you want to be aware of that. Okay? So if you're using the Radiate app when it's ready, and you're charging with yourself continuously, it's very important as well too that you're doing my free practices on my YouTube channel. Okay, so going into the playlist, looking at BCR technique, looking at cord removal healing, looking at prana transmission technique, or release ball method, or the abidance method. There's a whole bunch of them there for you. Okay, but basically what you're doing is you're utilizing that and you're clearing away, you're softening, you're lightening yourself up. Now all that's coming into yourself is promising situations, is great manifestations, unified consciousness, right? These are, again, the types of manifestations that you want to work with while you're at the summit, okay? So it's going to do wonders for your physical body. It's going to do wonders for your subtle bodies as well, too, okay? Very good. Okay, guys, do we have any other questions here on Zoom? Okay, Heidi, I see you're unmuted. Are you there? Okay, Heidi, your microphone is on. Are you available?
No.
Oh, I can hear you. Okay, yeah, if you don't have a question, please just mute your microphone, okay? Or I can do it for you. There. Okay, guys, I think that's going to wrap up all the questions that we have today for Zoom. So again, thank you guys for being a part of Zoom. Like I said, if you guys enjoy the Zoom portion of this, you guys can let me know, and I'll be happy to continue to do this every week. Or if you guys are just fine with doing the YouTube chat, we can just stick with that altogether as well too. All right. So why don't we go ahead today, and let me just see if there's any other questions here on the YouTube chat before we wrap up. Okay. I'm just making sure if I got everything with that. Elmer just says, what app is that? If you guys are just tuning in, I would say just go back to the beginning of the broadcast as I was talking about the Etherics Radiate app. Okay, so just go back to the beginning of this broadcast. You'll see it there. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up for today. So thank you very much for being a part of this first episode of Wisdom Transmissions on Wednesdays. We'll be back next Wednesday again at 10 a.m. Pacific time for, again, another Adronis transmission and Q&A. If you like the Zoom chat integration, please let me know, and we can continue to do that as well too. All right, and I'll be on Rumble tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. Just go to rumble.com. Let me just go ahead and move my picture back here. Just go back to Rumble. Just go to rumble.com/signpostslive. Okay, and you'll be able to tune into the broadcast there. That's rumble.com/signpostslive, all one word, and you'll be able to check me out there at 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll be looking into some current events all together on Rumble. Thank you, guys, and I'll talk to you again in another perspective. Now, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Namaskar, and may it be well with you. Bye for now.